What's going on, Brookie Nation? We are back. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Storybrooke Circus. My name is the Mackee Mouse.
My name is Isla.
Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. Are you happy that we're back?
Yeah.
I think everyone is happy that we're back.
It's been a wild week.
So we're taping this episode.
I don't even know what day of the week it is. I don't even know what day.
We're taping this episode a little later than we usually do. So for us, it actually has been like a long time since we taped the last episode. So it feels kind of weird. But in case you're here for the first time and you're wondering what the heck this nightmare is that you got yourself into, we are Storybrooke Circus. We are Once Upon a Time podcast, the ABC TV show that aired in 2011. We have seen the entire show, but we are reviewing it one episode at a time. We're still in season 1 right now. We also have a YouTube that we put the beginning of the show on. We call it the pre-show, before we do a little watch party in the middle. We have a bunch of fun stuff that we do before then, so stay tuned for that if you're new. But first of all, how are you doing, Isla? How's it going?
I'm doing good.
It's late in the week, later in the week than normal. So it's like almost
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Fantastic.
Yeah. We're going to stop recording and then immediately edit and post the show. Because we're a little behind on this, and that's okay. So hello to our YouTube fam. If you'd like to go and like and subscribe there, we would appreciate it. And speaking of interaction with our show, one of the segments that we like to do before the show begins is called the Storybrooke Daily Mirror. We love our news boys.
Phoenicians.
Thanks the Phoenicians for this Storybrooke Daily Mirror Spaceship Earth version. So the Storybrooke Daily Mirror in the fictional land of Storybrooke is a newspaper that Sydney Glass talks shit on about everybody in the neighborhood. In our show, the Storybrooke Daily Mirror is where you interact with us in our show. Isla, as always, would you like to tell the lovely listeners how they submit to this awesome pretend newspaper?
Let's get right to it. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, and we love those.
Dang right we do.
You can send us an email, the sbcpod@gmail.com. You can text us and let us know your name and where you're listening from, and just to say hi. And that same number, you can also call us on and leave us a voicemail. Mackee, what is that number?
That number is 207-536-8512. You can call or text, as Isla said. We love both equally.
We also have an Instagram that you can DM us on, and we can chat about all things Brookie Nation. And then the best of all, we have a Discord that we can literally all talk to on. It is not just me and Mackee, because that would not be a party. It is everyone who listens, our friends.
Yeah.
Anyone that caught one single episode of Once Upon a Time, you can join our Brookie Discord.
Absolutely.
And we can talk about anything.
We do talk about anything. We talk about random things. We talk about Disney stuff. We talk about whatever people want to talk about. It's actually a really good time. And the link for the Discord will be in the show notes in case you'd like to join us there. I also just I'm so bad at hosting this show. I just took a glance up at myself on the YouTube thing, and I'm like, I just realized all my background is all different now because my camera was gone for a little while.
Your camera's back.
But my camera's back.
What happened to your camera, Mackee?
It was, oh God, a little less than a year ago, my LCD screen got shattered when my camera fell to the ground. It was very sad. And I haven't been able to fix it until now. You kind of, COVID things kind of lifted, and it was easier to get it shipped and all that stuff. And it came back literally a few hours ago, and I hooked it up. So now it's like pretty again. I mean, that's presumptuous of me to think this is pretty, but this is better than it was before at the very least. Oh man. Anyway, no one who's listening to the podcast cares about that. The 12 people who watch our YouTube got to benefit from that little bit.
They love it.
Anyway, as you were talking about the Storybrooke Daily Mirror, all sorts of stuff, reviews, emails, text messages. And you know what? You guys came through this week. We got I keep saying this every episode, but the Storybrooke Daily Mirror is quickly becoming one one of our favorite segments to do on the show. And it's because it's all about the people who listen. And that's really why we're doing the podcast. We love talking to each other. We talk for hours before we record and for hours afterwards because we love talking to each other and hanging out. But we really do this podcast because we wanted other people to watch with us and, converse with us about the show and theories and all that kind of stuff. So
it's also our most vulnerable segment. So when we started Storybrooke Circus, we knew we were starting with 0 listeners. That was obviously.
And we're like, hey, podcast. Can you judge us on our own show, please?
Yeah. So then to put ourselves out there and be like, hey, like us enough to interact with us. That was so scary I think I can speak for both of us and say that we were both terrified that
yes, very much
we would be now on, our 17th episode and we'd be like, so if you want to call in or something, and it would be crickets. So the fact that you guys showed up and you continue to show up means so much.
It is really incredible. And that you continue to show up. That's an important point because this segment easily can dwindle down into just being forgotten about. And that's why we put it right at the top of the show and we make a really big deal about it. And we celebrate this segment because it really is our favorite to hear from you guys. It makes this so much better. It's so much fun. So without further ado, let's hear from you all. The first thing that we're going to I'm going to change it up a little bit. The first thing we're going to do is we did get another email. So we're getting a pattern here of our Discord brookies like to email us. This is what I'm noticing because they like to say a bunch of stuff that I feel like I guess they don't want to text, because it's longer stories. So this one comes from Juju Beans in the Discord. She says, hi, Isla and Mackee. I'm Juju Beans in the Discord and I'm writing you from Morristown, Tennessee. So Miranda, we got another map entry. We got a
little Dolly Parton in the place
for Morristown, Tennessee. She says, I just wanted to tell you all how much I love the show. I have tried leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, but it's been really odd and not submitting. I decided to send an email instead. By the way, we've heard this a few times of submissions
Apple,
not showing up quite.
Yeah,
it's a little strange, but thank you for following through and being patient and just sending us an email instead. She continues. I absolutely love the format of the show. It really is like watching TV live with friends. You all say so much of what I am thinking while watching Once Upon a Time. Thanks for all the background info and all the behind the scenes stuff. You guys work really hard and it shows every week. I look forward to every Friday. By the way, I totally agree with anything you've said about August. He's my favorite part of season 1. Thanks for making such a fun and informative podcast that brings me joy. Stay gold and stay rumple. Julia, aka Juju Beans.
Juju Beans, my girl.
Using our catchphrases and everything. We have a channel in the Discord called something to the effect of podcast one-liners, where people, and we didn't even do this ourselves. One of the mods made this channel so that we can put in, or they can put in little zingers that we say during the podcast that makes them laugh. And obviously this was one of them, the Stay Gold and Stay Rumple, that we randomly made up, I think on the air, one of our first episodes.
I made that up probably half asleep. So let's just be fully transparent about this. Don't know why I said that.
Listen, it's a good thing
but it's
to be
done.
known for.
I have Stay Gold tattooed on my arm.
You do?
Yeah.
Dude.
In my ditch.
Do I need to get Stay Rumple?
From The Outsiders.
Oh, nice. I'll just get Stay Rumple on mine and then we can
now
do
you have to get
of
Stay Rumple in your ditch,
that.
which I need to warn you, that is the worst place.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to put it there. This
fine.
I got this one and every time we got close to the top, I was like,
yeah, ditch is no bueno. No,
yeah, I'm probably
no
not
dice
gonna
on
do
that one.
But I got plenty of room, so I'm sure I can find something.
But I'm glad that Stay Gold, Stay Rumple is a cult classic because, wow, did that one stick with me. It's the only thing I know how to say by the time that we finish recording.
No, we're going to get it right this time. We talked about this.
I already forgot it.
It's going to be 3 hours before we have to say it anyway before the end of the show. So it's okay. Oh my God. So thank you so much, Julia. That was lovely. We always give our brookies the applause for I've lost my train of thought because my wife texted me and I looked at my phone and blacked out. I forgot I was saying, we love the participation. Thank you for doing that. So now we have a text message. By the way, we got a few entry. Never mind. I'm going to talk about that afterwards. It's in here. It's a lost thing. It's fine. I'm all out of order. We got a text from someone who tried to email us and then sent the to email left off the it was just sbcpod@gmail.com, which I kind of realized I probably should have just made the email sbcpod, but it's okay. So she texted us email long text, which is perfectly fine. By the way, anybody who wants to do that, be our guest. This is the email I sent at the beginning of May and forgot to add the on the address, so you'll get a text instead. Hey, Mackee and Isla, I just found your podcast a couple weeks ago and wanted to drop you a quick message and let you know how much I can't stop listening and how much I am truly enjoying it. I have already watched Once Upon a Time from start to finish with my son, and we loved it. However, I am legally blind. So this is one of our brookies from the Discord who called herself Blind Witch Lisa as a reference to...
I'm over here thinking that she's referencing the witch from Hansel and Gretel.
So she said, I'm legally blind. Shout out to the Blind Witch. She did reference...
Okay. Because thank you. All right.
When she came into the Discord, it was literally right after our Hansel and Gretel episode that features the Blind Witch. But she is actually legally blind, which I think is a kind of an awesome branding thing to do.
What an incredible...
Blind Witch Lisa. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? She says, I have a hard time watching TV on a regular television set, so I'm rewatching it on my phone, which I hold right up to my nose. For anybody who doesn't fully understand how like legally blind versus fully blind, people just think blind people are like black. They just can't see anything.
I feel like there's levels to
there's
this.
Totally, yeah, there's stages, and a lot of them see like blurred colors, right? So it's just everything is really, really out of focus, but certain levels can see light passing, right? So they can see shadows passing in front of them and things like that. They'll know where people are in the room and stuff, but they don't know what they look like. I have a fun small story before I finish this text message. I worked at a DJ company in New York. Shout out 5-star DJs that no longer exist. And one of the main owners, there's 3 of them, one of the main guys was blind, been blind since he was very, very young. And he was in his 30s by now. Amazing DJ, by the way, did everything by Braille and records so he can feel it out. I used to work with him all the time, basically self-sufficient. He can do everything himself. He's awesome. Well, for the whole first year I was working there, homeboy thought I was white. Had no idea I was black. No clue. No clue whatsoever. I have no accent. I lived in Brooklyn. I don't even have that. He just assumed I was another white guy. And then somebody was like, oh, he's like a brown, like Puerto Rican kid. And Giancarlo was like, what?
Oh,
yeah, it was the funniest interaction I've ever had with a blind person in my entire life.
It's like reading a book and creating the character, and then you go watch the movie and you're like,
nope, that wasn't it.
I'm sorry, Katniss Everdeen did not look like that in my head.
Yeah, but I can tell you, anytime I was in the room, like he was very acute with sound, very like if we were walking around in the room or we were standing somewhere, he could see where we were. Like he could reach out for stuff because he could see like spatially where it was. He just couldn't see fine details. So everything was just one big wash of blur. So please feel free to correct/clarify even further in our Discord, Lisa, if I explained that even close to correctly. But I will continue your text message. It says, because I can't see very well, I love hearing the episode watch, sort of like getting the audio description of the show. So audio descriptions versus captions. Audio descriptions describe like what you would be seeing, not just what they're saying. It's also, you know what I mean? Like it's actual like words of like everything is blue and they're in a woodsy forest, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the production notes, the trivia, and all the goof talk is so much fun. I especially love the Easter egg info. Keep up the good work, and thank you so much for this podcast. XO Lisa, aka Blind Witch Lisa. That is 2 text messages in a row that have directly quoted Isla, which I love to death. Oh man, it makes me so happy. So
thank you, Lisa,
amazing entry. It was worth the wait, let me tell you. I'm so glad this didn't get lost in the stupid email shuffle.
I hope sbcpod@gmail.com loves that email when they get it too.
Yeah, I hope they get it and they're like, I don't know who this is, but this is awesome.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was really, really, really lovely. Let's see what else we got. We got a lot of stuff going on here. Would you like to read our reviews, Isla?
I would love
we got
to.
another
I was waiting
Apple
for my cue.
5-star review we got. Did we get two? Wait, did we read the last one last week? Or yes, we did. Because Little Stargazer. Okay, we just have the one.
Little Stargazer. It's Darth Mel.
Right.
Oh yeah, so follow up on that. Little Stargazer did come forward in the Discord.
Oh yes, yes.
And it is our friend Darth Mel over in Discord. She said that was her like original email, I believe, and it followed through onto Apple Podcasts. So yeah, thank you, Darth Mel.
Shout out, Darth Mel. Shout out.
Now,
air horn.
To our newest 5-star review. It is from the unbiased Jesse J. Fro, who has no relation to my best friend, Jesse J. Fro whatsoever. It's titled New Brookie Alert. I realize I'm late to the game, but I have found my people.
Yes, you have, Jesse. Yes, you have.
Mind you, I have never seen Once Upon a Time. I love the fact that it feels like we are just chilling watching TV together. You guys have given me a new show to binge, and I could listen to you guys talk all day. We do talk all day, girlfriend. And find myself talking back to you as I listen. Keep it coming, guys. Thank you so much, Jesse. I love you so much. Again, no personal relation. Love this review. Thank you.
Thank you for your unbiased, no relation, 5-star review. We don't know about all of those things. I don't trust your credibility there. However,
not paid, not sponsored, not an ad,
not an hashtag, not an ad. Well, in relation to that, that review, it seems as though. Hold on. I think we're getting an interruption to our broadcast right now.
What's happening right now?
I don't know. I just gotta.
Sorry to interrupt the show, guys, but I have been dying to tell you that I am a new brookie. It has been killing me to keep this from Isla. It feels like years when really it's probably just been days, but when you talk to someone all day, it makes it pretty difficult. Not only am I new here, but I'm new to the Once Upon a Time universe, so I had to get a few episodes under my belt before I came here to say that I am here for it. I just love listening to you guys because I just feel like y'all are just hanging out, and I feel like I'm hanging out, and that's just pretty much what I need in my life. So thank you for giving me a new show to binge, another way to support my amazingly talented friends, and another way to look crazy talking to my phone when the people who I'm talking to can't even hear me. So, keep it up. I'm here to binge the rest of the episodes, so I'll probably call back when I know the characters a little bit better.
Heck yeah.
I love you guys. Oh, yeah, Jesse, Mississippi. Me. That's me.
I was tearing up for those of you without the visual reference of what's going on. That is number 2 episodes in a row that I have made Isla cry with our, not me, but our listeners have. Okay, so for those of you who don't understand what's going on right now, or have not put it together yet, Jesse is Isla's best friend, who I now know, we all talk to each other, right? Because I'm just absorbing all of Isla's best friends now. And Jesse and I have been talking for a while, and Jesse started listening to the show, and the two of us came up with this master plan that we were going to not tell Isla that Jesse was listening to the show. So she listened to a few of them. I think she listened to like 3 episodes. And I was like, don't worry, I'm going to make like an interruption in the show, and then we're going to play this voicemail because she doesn't look at the voicemails. And then Jessie got excited and she's like, I left a review. And I was like, no. She looks at the reviews. She reads the reviews. She's like, dang it. Well, that's okay. At least the voicemail will be a surprise. Well, are you surprised, Isla? Please tell the people.
So I would just like to be fully honest with the people. I don't make my friends participate in anything that I do. No. I'm not like, oh, you're my friend, you need to support me in my projects that are ridiculous. So I just I don't like force feed this down my friends' throats. I'm not like, oh my God, like, did you guys listen to my Once Upon a Time episode this week? Like, because I'm not going to do that. So she knew this was a thing. So I thought that Jesse just left a review to like give us a review to like,
right.
You know, bump the help it out. Like, I don't know, like as one does, because she is a very good friend.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't know she was actually listening to the show. And I don't know how she did not tell me this. Jesse and I text from when we wake up until we fall asleep. As I do with just about everyone in my like super close inner circle. Like so how did no one inform me of this? Like, first of all, you guys are backstabbing bitches and I'm mad at you.
Nailed it. So worth it. So the answer.
Wow, such a touching knife in my back. Like, it feels good. It's like tingly.
It's like massaging a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little nice, you know?
The answer is she would turn around from things that she was texting you to be like, this is so... She texted me today and was like, is today the day you're recording? Because I can't keep this anymore. In fact, I promised her, I'm going to do it right now. I promised her I would text her to let her know when it's done so that she could let the cat out of the bag. And actually, you started that text thread at the beginning of this recording, and I was really afraid she was going to be like, "Did you listen yet?" And I had to text her on the side and be like, We're not there yet. So don't. So take it easy." Oh yeah, that was so worth it. So worth it, guys. This is
wow. And like the best part of this, Brookies, you have to keep this a secret, but I get to see Jesse for the first time. Yeah. A week from today.
Very exciting.
Brookies, this is a big secret, okay?
Yeah. We don't just give the secret out to anybody, and I really mean that.
Yeah, no, this is tip-top information.
We trust
top
you
secret.
guys. We trust you.
I get to see... I have not seen Jesse, who is one of my best friends in life, since January of last year. Since I'm sorry, the first week of February 3rd, to be exact, if you all want exactness. So the last time I saw Jesse, it was like 3 weeks before the pandemic Lovato really hit the fan. And now we're going to be reunited in a really special place. And I'm really excited.
I am also very, very excited.
I just completely hijacked the Daily Mirror, and I'm so sorry.
No, you didn't. I did by bringing your best friend in as a surprise voicemail. I did too.
I will not hide the text messages from the rest of the Brookies. I said, "You bitch, how dare you listen to SBC without telling me?" in all caps. And she said, "Fucking finally, Jesus, I've almost slipped up so many times. I wanted to make fairy tale jokes and reference the podcast and had to catch myself on a voice memo to you the other day." She did. She told me. She immediately voice memoed me, and she she said she almost slipped and had to just stop talking and be like, "Oh man," and shrug it off, because she was just gonna be like, "I was listening to the episode. Jesse, you did a great job. You did a great job keeping this one. This was hard for me too, because I love surprises so much that I don't want them to be surprises. Like, I don't want to wait for the surprise. I just want to be like, we did this thing. So bad. So it was hard to keep this one too. But I figured it would be worth it to do it on the air, because I hope it was worth the payoff. Your genuine reactions, Isla. They are. It's just me crying. It's just you crying. So I hope you guys, I think we got everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Lisa. Yep. Thank you, Jesse. We love you. We love you all. And before we get out of the Daily Mirror, we want to talk about this thing. And this is what I was going to talk about before, and I was like, I'll talk about it at the end. Is last week we mentioned that we are going to start a Lost Patreon, but only if we get support from those of you out there. So we had put out the hook to have you guys text or email or DM us the words "down the hatch" to our voicemail number or to our email or to our Instagram. And we have gotten a few submissions so far. So I'm very excited to see people kind of starting to catch on to this. So if you're interested in us doing this kind of show, same kind of production notes and Easter eggs and kind of analysis of the show, but we'll do it with Lost. We're going to do that on the Patreon as well as a movie club. So we're going to start out small with that. We just want to make sure that we can actually, produce this content, because it's a lot of work and we have day jobs. But we do want to give back, and people have been requesting this a lot. So
money where your mouth is. If you requested it and you want it to go down, you want to see Lost on the agenda, then make sure you text or email us or DM us down the hatch. So yeah, that's our little Lost bit. Anyway, that was our Storybrooke Daily Mirror. Hurrah! That was a good one. They just get better every episode. You guys are seriously our favorite part of the show. We just love hearing from you so much. It's a blast. Isla's texting Jessie still, calling her a bitch because she held this secret for so long. It's fine. I got you. We'll move on with the show. So we have our pre-show information. The show episode that we're talking about this week is episode number 16 in season 1. It's called Heart of Darkness. We established that it was not a Regina episode or a Rumple episode. It's really...
whatever.
It actually is a Snow and Prince Charming episode. So this is going to continue their story, which is nice that we're getting back to the soap opera drama that we all know and love. It aired on March 18th, 2012. It was written by Andrew Chambliss and Ian Goldberg. The last time we saw them was Fruit of the Poisonous Tree and The Shepherd. The Shepherd was Prince Charming as well, and Fruit of the Poisonous Tree was Regina with the genie.
Mm-hmm.
It was directed by Dean White. We had a little confusion with the Dean White last time he was around, but it was Snow Falls, True North, and What Happened to Frederick. As you know, Dean White is like the charming and snow guy, right? Mm-hmm. So he's watched
their on-screen, off-screen relationship.
Yeah. So we think that Dean White is responsible for them getting married. Let's be honest. He probably kind of, engineered that a little bit. Just because I was randomly talking about the ratings for the last few episodes, this one got an 8.69. So 8.69 million stick figures. I don't know how the hell they figure out how many people are watching the show, but 8.69 is what this got. The synopsis of this episode is Mary Margaret hires Mr. Gold as her attorney when Emma is forced to arrest her for the suspected murder of David's wife, Kathryn. That was what the last 2 minutes of the show last week was. They were like, Mary Margaret's fingerprints are on the box with the heart in it. So it says, meanwhile, back in the fairy tale land that was, Prince Charming sets out to stop a determined and unhinged Snow White whose memory is still clouded by Rumpelstiltskin's potion from assassinating the evil queen. So as we last left this story off in the Enchanted Forest, because we jumped around a little bit, right, is Snow took the potion. She forgot that she loved Prince Charming. Prince Charming called off the wedding. That was what happened to Frederick, right? He called off the wedding. He ran away. Kathryn's off with Frederick doing whatever. And he is looking for her, and we know that she's with the Dwarves, but he hasn't found her yet. So I'm assuming they're going to pick it up right when, he's still out searching for her and stuff. So now we'll get into, before we actually get into the show, the production notes of the show. Production notes. Production notes is when we talk about the behind the scenes stuff and things about props and sets and all that kind of, how to make a TV show.
Anthropology sweaters.
Oh my God. Wait, hold on. Play it. So Isla is wearing the finest garb from Forever 21. She's got lovely Dr. Dre Beats headphones on. They are the color red, like our crimson hearts. I don't know.
Okay, we are going to interrupt Mackie's terrible description of what Isla is wearing this evening. It is a Wild Fable shirt from Target, hot pink Dr. Dre Beats.
Oh, they're hot pink. Please continue. Other things.
And her hair is in Princess Leia space buns. Thank you.
I was just making it up. So. Anyway, yes. We don't have that this week. But now, if you were missing that from our last week, our new bit,
you're welcome.
The elevator music in your local department store. You're welcome.
Filene's.
What if, we should name the fictional department store where we talk about all the brands.
No, we're gonna call it the ones that have died. Ames and Filene's.
Ames and Filene's. I like it. There you go. All right. So production notes. There's a juicy deleted scene in this one. And I usually don't really write down the deleted scenes because they're not really all that important unless they are important, right? And this one, I don't know if it was important, but it's an Emma August one. Like Emma and August.
How dare they do this stuff?
Right? How dare you? Okay. So this is how it's described. Emma Swan is sitting at a table in Granny's Diner, because where the hell else would she be sitting? When August Booth comes and sits down, he says he'd like to ask her out again, but knows it isn't the best time for her, and she agrees with him. He still offers to buy her a drink, and Ruby goes to get it for her. I would love to know, is Ruby still in her slutty outfit, or is she in like new reformed
I know.
Ruby?
How
right?
can they...
They can't go
take
back
this
from
from
that.
us?
We're going to see her in the episode, so I'm kind of excited to see like how, what she looks like. He notices that she can't stop looking at Regina Mills and asks what she plans on doing. Emma wants to give her a piece of her mind, but it hasn't been working out lately. August gives her the advice to not let Regina see her coming. August gets up and leaves the money to pay for Emma's drink. That's a great deleted scene, and I'm picturing it in my mind, and I wish they had left it in. I feel like they could have just like sped it up or something. Like done
something.
I'm just thinking of. So I keep hitting the microphone. I get so excited. I just think of how juicy even that little bit of meat in that could have been, just between the chemistry between the two of them on screen. Oh, it would have been so good. Just the little looks that they give each other and all that stuff. Okay, so cast notes. This is the first episode since the pilot that all the regular cast members appear as both their Enchanted Forest and Storybrooke counterparts, with the exception of Emma and Henry, because they don't exist in Enchanted Forest. Because Emma was a baby and Henry didn't exist. And just a little observation, the bird that Snow White attacks is a lovebird that was CGI'd blue. Lovebirds are white. So there's that. Don't know. They couldn't find a blue bird that had the same shape, I guess. So they just like CGI'd, changed the color. Sure. The bird that Snow White attacks with her broom is the same kind of bird that she and her Storybrooke counterpart set free in the pilot. Remember in the pilot, Mary Margaret sets that blue bird away and we're like, oh yeah, it's like Snow White. It's the same bird. I mean, obviously. Let's see. When Emma comes to see Mr. Gold, he's holding the genie's lamp from Fruit of the Poisonous Tree.
Huh.
Which that I'm excited about, because the lamp is very obvious and very ornate, and I like the fact that the things that we see in the Enchanted Forest are all showing up in the pawn shop. You know what I mean, like the dolls and the map and like all these other in the opening scene, Snow White is humming a song. She's humming with a smile and a song from the original 30s Snow White film that I couldn't hum for you right now because I haven't seen that movie in like 30 years. So there's that. When Emma goes to see Mr. Gold to ask for help, he is wearing a wedding ring on his left hand. This is a goof. So Robert Carlyle, when he was filming the scene, he forgot to take his real life wedding ring off. So Mr. Gold is just either married or trying on a wedding ring in his pawn shop.
Yeah, it's just a ring from the pawn shop. No big deal.
Yeah. So something that I noticed that I didn't notice before is there's an entire section of the wiki that is focused just on the Disney references, Disney films or Disney park references, specific to each episode, and then ones that are generic to like, this always shows up in this house, or the pawn shop always has this thing, right? But it showed up in this episode the first time. So I think I'm going to start adding that to production notes. We can decide if we want this to be a separate segment or if we want it to just be, like we can, I don't know if we want to make like a Disney segment or something, or just add it to production notes. But for now, we'll just mention it here in production notes. So for this episode, this is something that was introduced in this episode that will reoccur. And it says in the Blanchard loft, which when we read this, when we were writing it down, we were like, excuse, the Blanchard loft?
Very bouge.
Does she have a butler? Like, what is that? Is there like valet parking in front? There are 2 framed pictures of small brown birds, one of which is nesting. They're over like this little countertop that she has. This is a reference to the small brown birds that Snow White interacts with in the film. This is this cute little nest of birds that she talks to. And if you guys are interested, if you go to the wiki, in fact, I'll put a link in the show notes. There are pictures that go along with these references that show the frame in the Once Upon a Time episode and then the frame in the actual Disney film, so you can kind of compare them back and forth. So if you're interested in looking at a visual reference of this, I'll link it so you can see too. Snow White wears a very similar looking red bow hairband, like the Snow White is drawn with that famous red bow. So we'll look out for that. Snow White sweeps the floor of the dwarf's cottage, which she's seen animated doing in the animated film. A blue bird lands on her hand, just like in the movie. It comes in from the window and just lands on her hand, and it's like taken almost frame for frame out of the movie. The 7 dwarves drinking steins, they're actually designed after the cartoon versions. The squirrels are like, jumping around with them and stuff while they're dancing.
Yep.
It's actually designed after the same one, so you'll see like the similar etchings and stuff on the side. This is a cool one. Sneezy is allergic to straw, or as Snow puts it, he's allergic to everything. Well, in the Disney film, Sneezy is said to have suffered from hay fever. So they have him like interacting with being allergic to straw, which is a very like small, subtle Easter egg. I really like that. That's like a cute little nod without being too much,
Yeah, it's not over the top.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I like over top ones, but I like when they can put it in where you wouldn't expect it.
Like if you rewatched, you'd be like, oh wait, I didn't catch it the first. Like that's kind of like a cool one that you could miss if you look too fast. The last one is on Mary Margaret's nightstand. We see a bird figurine that are similar to the bluebirds that Snow White interacts with in the film. So they're kind of like chunky. They're a little bit kind of chubby, and they have this big, bright.
They have like a puffy chest.
Breast, yeah. And it's right next to her little clock on her nightstand on some books that also look like little tree twigs and branches and stuff. So that's that. It looks like, I'm just looking real quick. Oh, I see. Okay, so they show a full screen version and then a zoomed in version. So I'll see if I can point it now that I know where it is in the episode. I'll see if I can point it out because it's really hidden in there. You have to like zoom in pretty far. So I think that'll be fun to point out. So that's production notes. And for the first time since we started the show, there are no Hatch references in this show.
I cannot believe it.
Crazy. So for anybody who doesn't know, this show shares executive producers and writers with Lost. They started with Lost and then came over here to Once Upon a Time. And so they have a ton of Easter eggs in these episodes, a lot of numbers, a lot of references to candy and, musical acts and all these things. And this is the first episode where not a single Lost reference. So I didn't even know that was a thing, especially in the first season. But that's okay.
And like, if you're listening, if this is your first SBC episode, there are like up to 8 in other episodes, 8 Lost references. And
like
then
little numbers they slide in or like anywhere. Yeah.
To nothing.
It's crazy.
Weird.
Yeah. Yep. And it was a relatively light production note this time around too. We didn't have as many as we usually do. We usually have pages and pages of production notes in this one. I wonder like if this one was just taped quickly, because when they do TV recordings, like they get through them pretty fast. Like once they get into a rhythm right about now, like double digits into a season, they really start to just crank stuff out, right? In fact, they are sometimes taping 2 episodes at once. If they know they're going to reuse stuff or they have the script submission early enough, they could do up to parts of 2 at a time if the stars align, right? So this might have just been one that was easy to just crank out and then get to the next script, because right about now in the midway part of the season, you're starting to think about season finale. You're starting to think about how grand things really need to be to make sure the studio will renew you for a new season. So you got to really start thinking like, how are you going to ramp up the tension? How are you going to ramp up the risk factor? Is that a directorial thing you have to do? You have to prep the actors to kind of build up the anticipation and all. Like, so there's a lot of moving parts, and the few of those episodes in the middle are just to get you there.
Get lost in it, yeah.
Yeah, so like this might have just been one of those. I mean, but we are kind of the climax of the David, Mary Margaret, and Snow and Prince stuff has already happened, really. The real climax in Enchanted Forest.
We're picking up the pieces at this point. Yeah.
This is very much falling action time, right, in storytelling. So like Snow lost her memory. At this point, Kathryn's lost. The love triangle thing is done. And now they put this juicy murder stuff in, but like the stuff between the romance of the characters is finished, essentially, and we're moved on into a new thing. And so there's risk with her being accused of this thing. Like, I don't really think any of us buy that Mary Margaret did anything to Kathryn.
Right. How many people, that would be like an interesting thing to know. Like, this is where I wish we were watching it live, like when it aired, because it's like, and back when this aired, Twitter live watches like weren't a thing, or like, keeping up with it after wasn't really a huge thing. So I wonder like how many people when this aired were like, yeah, I think Mary Margaret did it.
Yeah. Were there anybody who was like, oh, this is going to be the twist where we learn Mary Margaret's a psychopath? Like,
yeah. Was there anyone out there that really thought like, oh yeah, Storybrooke Mary Margaret definitely killed Kathryn?
Yeah. She's like a closet sociopath who's just really good at like bipolar. She's really good at disassociating.
I just want to know if there was anyone out there that like...
It's a good question. If you're one of those people, please call in 207-536-8512.
No judgment. We just want to know.
No judgment at all. All right. So we are ready, just about ready to watch the episode. Before we start, we always like to look for a line in the show that is directly referencing the title, Heart of Darkness. Prince Charming says to Snow, I would rather die than let you fill your heart with darkness. So we're waiting for that. That'll be a big drink moment. I guess that's your chug moment. Is that like a drinking game thing?
Yeah.
Right? You like drink extra. Speaking of drinking game, we have a few things that go on while we watch the show. So if you hear this sound, that is the sound for the drinking game that we like to play. We have a few random rules when we see apples, magic, when characters square off with each other. So as we remember them, and we have been called out several times for not hitting the bell, which I kind of like. People have said that they're like screaming at their radio, being like, you didn't say drink, and then they drink. Like, I like that they're self-policing the drinking game. So please, oh wait, what's our, somebody named our correction segment. Check the Storybook. That was Miranda.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a segment called Check the Storybook. So if you have a correction where we didn't call out drink or we misquoted something or whatever, we will air it on. We've never done it yet. So if you have a correction, please do it. And then we'll start our new segment. I'm sure people can find stuff to correct us on. Anyway, that's the drinking game sound. If you hear this sound, that is to clink your drink. That is kind of a little toast, like a little cheers. And it's really to a little shout out to our production team. Any of those production notes, if we find them, we'll just give a little clink. So, no drinking necessary. And the last one is a request that we've gotten from listeners, which was, if you hear this, that is the sound of me playing and pausing the episode. A lot of people are watching live with us, so they requested, something a little bit easier to sync their watching experience with us. So that is the sound of when I start and stop. As much as I can, I will try and call that out. We have this, which I try to remember to do. That didn't work at all. Hold, please. That didn't even try to play. It didn't even attempt it. I will fix that for you very quickly. And I'm glad that happened, because now I know that it wouldn't have worked during the show. Let's try again.
It's rewind time.
So that's our good buddy Will Smith called into the show. He's like, I really want to lend my voice to Storybrooke Circus. And I was like, oh, Will, I got you. I got a perfect spot for it. So Will just declares that it's rewind time, and then we rewind the show to clarify something. So if you hear that, just know that we're going back. So I'll find a sync point, and then you'll find another place to line us up. And with that, we say goodbye to the YouTube. Thank you for following along. I hope you enjoyed that teary surprise that Isla got to get videotaped doing for our YouTube channel.
Damn.
Cold-blooded. If you would like to listen to the rest of the show, please do. And you will find it at your favorite podcast locations, and you'll find it right here.